all that is Christ by virtue of his being the very Son of God is ours because of our union with him. We are filled in him. This is staggering. It should blow every circuit in your head. Kent Hughes wonderfully illustrated this by saying it's like walking on a beach and looking out at the Pacific Ocean. And you have a jar in your hand and you stoop down next to the Pacific Ocean and you dip that jar into the Pacific Ocean. And the jar is filled with the fullness of the Pacific Ocean. But though we have this jar that is filled with the Pacific Ocean, we don't have the fullness of the Pacific Ocean because our jar is too small. But then we realize that Christ is infinite. And he can hold the fullness of deity. And whenever one of us finite creatures dips the tiny vessel of our life into him, we instantly become full of his fullness. What a way God has made for us in Christ. That we might be filled with his fullness. And it's only possible in him. A man that rises every morning and spends hours in prayer and helps the widow and the orphans and gives all his money away and yet he can be not actually filled in God. He can possibly not know that sweet communion, that salvation, never have that void filled in his life. It does not eternally matter that he was a religious man. It does not eternally matter that he cared for others. He forsook his soul by forsaking Christ, neglecting Christ. Because Christ is the only way. It's the only way to be filled with the fullness of God. And so a Jewish rabbi may surpass the Christian in hours of prayers on his knees. A Buddhist monk may surpass this or that Christian man with the way that he pursues peace. A Muslim may surpass this or that Christian by the way that he lives a sacrificial life. And yet in the end, they are lost and the Christian is saved. Why? Because the Christian is a better man? No, but because he is united to a better man.